What's up guys, welcome back to the ShiHai channel, and today I will be doing my take on the new Shiranui Dominate deck and what is up with everyone and the hype of G-BT14. Okay, so first, before I go into the deck list, of course, wow, since Bushiroad has generously buffed to the Shiranui clan by giving it such good cards such as the new Grade 3 Shiranui and the Grade 4 Shiranui, which I'll get into detail soon. It has been a very, very, very weird weekend for us in the Asia region who have already received the Japanese G-BT14, and that G-BT14 has a buff to all clans equally, but it is a whole entire story for Nubatama Dominate, because I have no idea why, but a lot of people has been posting about it, saying, oh, how Dominate is just breaking the meta right now because of its super OP Grade 4 skill, which I'll get into it later. While other clans such as Gearcron or Genesis, Shadow Paladin is not receiving as much love as Nubatama, and for now I have seen a lot of people, especially on Facebook or on some marketing websites where they try to sell Vanguard cards to the community in respective countries. I've seen a lot of them trying so hard just to build a Shiranui Dominate deck because of the new support, which makes it really fun. Of course, I have to thank Bushiroad. Thank you very much for allowing this clan to actually step up into from tier 2 point something last time to now becoming almost a tier 1 god tier deck, while other decks such as Thabas, Overlord are stepping down a little, while decks such as Nubatama, Gearcron, maybe Lua Genesis have to step up, including direct regulars, especially Balam. Balam is just a stupidly strong card. Alright, so let's move on to the deck list and see what do I play after the G-BT14 support. Alright, so first, let's go through the main deck before we go through the G-Zone. Alright, so for starters wise, I have not changed it. I still use Stealth Dragon Madoi, even though some people would like to use the new starter right here. So the difference is, as you can see, this is not GB restricted, this is GB restricted. So basically, this starter is, because of the new Grade 3 Shiranui that doesn't allow you to call stuff out from the opponent's drop zone, but instead makes opponent's drop hand. But on your first ride, when you ride the Grade 3 Shiranui, you don't actually get to call anything out from your opponent's hand because the skill states during ride phase. So this card is actually to help you to actually get off a Dominate. Is when Dominate unit rides over the Vanguard circle, you may put this unit into your soul, and then you may call one out from your opponent's drop zone, call one unit out of your opponent's drop zone, draw a card, and then at the end of your turn, you retire the unit that was called out. And of course, we have the Stealth Dragon Madoi as usual, GB1. When dominated unit attacks, put this into your soul, draw a card, choose a unit plus 3k. So I choose to run Madoi over this new unit because reasons of the Grade 4 Shiranui Rini, or when people put down cards, forced to put down cards due to either Rini skill or Zanki skill. They have usually put down triggers such as like 5k triggers or maybe even Grade 1, like 7k base. But then Zanki only dominates and adds 2k power, which is still not enough to actually attack the Vanguard. So I run Moradoi just because of that extra 3k that they gives in order for the unit attack to just be enough to hit the Vanguard. So yeah, moving on, we have obviously the Grade 3 lineup. As you can see, I have this beautiful SP Zankis, and I have just left one. Yeah, right here, that is not SP, which I will be getting soon in my full rarity, in my adventure, my journey to full rarity, my Dominate deck. So yeah, okay, moving on, we have 4 of the new Zankis, as you can see right here. It's very nice, very cool. Skill is on place on the Vanguard circle or when you strike. you choose any fighter's units and plus 2k power to it, and if you do choose enemies, your opponent's units, you may stand and dominate them. And then for the Vanguard skill, the other one is during your right phase, you may Soul Blast 1. If you do, draw 1. And then both fighters are forced to put 1 card down from their hand onto Guardian Circle. Not a Guardian Circle, onto Rearguard Circle. And then, of course, the auto abilities of the opponent's cards will not activate until end of turn. Well, yours can, obviously. So this is really good card. This is a really strong card. I'm very glad Bushiroad came out with this. It's so strong and it's so good. It makes your opponent drop so many hands every turn. Like almost every turn you have to drop 1 and then 2 including the Great Fall. We'll get to it later. So moving on, I play 7 Great Trees, 3 of the old 21k beta. So this card is still very viable, I would say, because of how it adds power to the opponent's units and how it gains 10k by itself if they do actually choose a rearguard, which obviously they will most of the time. And I see some people running the old Great Tree Shiranui, in which I don't, because I feel that most of the time you will be getting this in your hand, or you can search out using, you know, your strike fodder. Even though if you get this in your hand, you can just play a strike fodder, show this to your opponent, and then you start searching for your, you know, your ideal Great Tree, which is Sankeys. Alright, moving on, we have the Grade 2. So for the Grade 2 lineup, I play around 12 if I'm not wrong. Yep. So first we have 2 10k fodders, 10k, you know, just 10k bases to prevent any rushes. So I play tested with this deck a few days ago with some friends, you know, some of the new decks such as Gearcron, Genesis, Luard, even like, you know, Owlmao and some other new decks from G-BT14. And I realized that the 10k base actually sometimes really helps a lot against rushes, because this deck is actually really GB reliant, and you have to wait till you at least write to your Great Trees to actually get something off, you know, your dominate off at least. So 2 of the 10k base is actually really good. Moving on, we have the Grade 2. So this is the new Grade 2, the new rare Grade 2, which is really essential in this deck because it burns off the dominated unit. If you realize that you last time in the G zone, you don't really have that. You don't really need that burning power of the opponent's units, because Magantembu, if you remember, is an old G unit which burns off the opponent's units easily because of its skill. But now that I've taken out Magantembu and start playing the new strike unit Rene, you don't really have that burning power anymore. So we play this unit 4 copies. First skill is if you have Great Tree Shiranui, it gets a 2k power, so it's 11k meter. So yeah, it's really good. And then last, you play this because the second skill GB1 count plus 1. When your other dominated unit attacks, you may count plus 1. You sack the dominated unit after it battles, of course, and then you draw 1. So yeah, that's basically it. This skill is just basically after a dominated unit attacks, you don't like that unit to be on the enemy's field, you just count plus 1 and you just basically burn it from the field. And this ability cannot be spammed. Yes, it says in card text that this ability cannot be used for the rest of the turn. Yeah, but it is a very strong ability, and you ideally want to get it in your hand most of the time. And it's very essential because sometimes your opponent will think, oh, since Rene doesn't retire or Zanki doesn't retire the unit, they might call a unit which will be essential to your next turn, but you're like, oh hell no, I ain't letting you use that stupid skill. So you just come as 1, burn it off after you dominate, it'll all be good. Moving on, we have 4 of the old Tamahagane Metsu. Very standard. When placed on Vanguard Circle or Rearguard Circle, you may bind up to 1 of the card. A G1 skill, come plus 1, you may take the bind card, any bind card basically, from the bind zone to your hand, and then this unit plus 10k shield, so it's a 19k beater. If you want to boost it to make it you know, at least a 21k so that it hits that magic number, you may. So that's why another use of the Stealth Dragon Madoi right here is you can plus 3k to this to make it a 22k. So you know, it hits magic number, your opponent has to guard 15 if they are 11k base, and it gives you a hand size. And last but not least, we have 2 of the Furais. So I've cut down from 4 Furais to 2 Furais, and instead I put in the 10k, you know, the 10k bases, just to prevent rush, because I feel that Furai now is not really in a good spot, because usually you wouldn't want to end off your opponent with Mujin Lock anymore, and most of the time your opponent will have a field because of, you know, Zanki's skill or Rini's skill, so you don't really need Furai anymore for that Soul Blast one, but it is still important because of that Soul Blast skill, not Soul Blast skill, the plus 2k whenever any unit attacks, any fighter's unit attacks on the field. So I feel that it is still playable, but I've cut it down to 2, and I feel that it's the best choice. Alright, last but not least, not really last but not least, but yeah, before we move on to the triggers, we have the Grade 1. So I play 14 Grade 1s, because Grade 1s in this deck is very, very essential. So obviously 4 of the same PGs, Perfect Guards or Kanzens, Stealth Dragon Utsuri, if I'm not wrong. So basically this is the Kanzen that actually bounces back to your hand once a dominated unit hits. So if you have 2 of these Kanzens in the drop zone, if a dominated unit attack hits, you may take one of this Kanzen from the drop zone back to your hand, and the other one goes to the bottom of that. So it's basically a recyclable Kanzen or PG. Yeah, it's really, really good. But some people prefer to run the new, not new, but the old, super old Kanzen, which if you have another of him of the same Kanzen in the drop zone, you may counter charge one, because this deck is very counter blast heavy and very soul blast heavy. But I feel after that, you know, a few days of testing, I feel that this is fine. I've never run out of counter blast and never run out of soul because of the new cards, which I'll explain later in my trigger lineup. So yeah, moving on. We have 2 of the Strike Forters, so I've cut down the Strike Forters to only 2, because I feel that I can strike most of the time without problems, without having to, you know, hard strike, discarding Grade 2 and a Grade 1, or discarding all 3 Grade 1s. So I feel that 2 is the best option. But some people would still prefer to play 4 because, oh, you might not guarantee that you might get a Zanki in your hand, you might get the Grade 3 that I showed you just now, you might get this stupid samurai guy, so you have to call out Strike Forter to search for your Zanki. But I feel that 2 is just nice for me. So yeah, that's about it. Following, we have 4 of the new frogs. The new frogs. This is why I play 4 of them, because most of the time, when your opponent calls cards from their hands to rear guard circle, not guardian circle, I keep saying that. When call cards to the rear guard circle, they usually call trigger units with 4k base, 5k base, and then it's really hard for, you know, the units dominated to actually hit that magic number, not magic number, but to hit at least the minimum number of 11k if the opponent's at, you know, 11k Vanguard, to actually hit the opponent's Vanguard. So you play this frog, which is GB1 skill, put this unit into your soul. When other dominated unit attacks, you may put this into your soul, you draw a card, and that dominated unit plus 6k for that battle, or until the end of turn, either one. But yeah, basically it's a 1-turn skill, it's basically a 3-in-1 combo, which gives you 6k to the dominated unit. It gives you soul because it goes into your soul, and then last but not least, it allows you to draw a card. So I don't see why people shouldn't, like, you know, run 4 of these, because it's very important. Maybe just because it's a 6k base that people doesn't want to run it, but who really cares, right? I mean, 6k base, it's fine. It's just Grade 1. You probably write this and then be gone with it. Yeah, moving on. We have, last but not least, this OP new Grade 1, which everybody starts to play, because it's basically is a unit that basically what's that word? Outcasts Sezui at all. So if you guys don't know, these 2 Grade 1s, which I used to play, this cube bear right here, it basically binds up to 2 of the cards, and then whenever a dominated unit attacks GB1, you may put a card into your soul, and this unit plus 5k is a 13k booster. I don't play this anymore. Or do I not play this Sezui anymore? Is whenever a dominated unit attacks plus 3k, we play this new unit because it is so goddamn strong that no one ever wants to play this two ever again. I still see people playing this, I guess, because of the binding. You might need that bind, and you may need that soul, so this card can get you. But no one plays this anymore because of this new OP grade 1, in which the skill is GB1. When another dominated unit attacks, this unit plus 5k, so it combos so well with your Rini, with your Zanki, and especially with Mujin Lord. So basically the skill is for each dominated unit plus 5k. So most of the time in your turns you will get at least 2 dominate units attack off during your turn. And even if you have this on the field before you even strike into your grade 4, this will have a 15k extra additional 15k power. So when you strike, you first use your strike skill, which is Zanki skill, stand enemies unit, dominate them plus 2k attack, so that's 5k, and then use Renee skill, which is the opponent have to call 2 more cards down from hand, and then attack with them again, so it plus 5 again. So it's basically a 22k booster, hitting, boosting, and hitting the enemy's vanguard, which is freaking big, and most likely the opponent will have to guard a shit ton of hand. If not, you're gonna have to take damage. So please play 4 of these. This very cute ninja woman right here that's using a telescope, I think. Not telescope, but whatever that's called, basically. So yeah, I feel that this is the very essential part to the Nubatama combo, and why it is so viable right now, why the deck is so good, is because one of the reasons because of this card. Alright, then now last but not least, we have the trigger. So we play 4 of the new heals, obviously. This is why I say we don't really need to play any more counter charging PGs, or some people like to play Tengai, not Tenri or Tengai, either one. The one that at end of turn move this card into your soul, counter charge 1. You don't really have to play that because you usually don't run out of counter blast that quick because of the new heal triggers. Standard, every clan has this bind, this heal trigger, 2 of them. When you call for G-Guardian, then you either counter charge 1 or soul charge 1. Usually you never run out of soul because the deck pairs so well with soul charging and all that. So usually you don't run out soul. But yeah, this card is the one that helps you to counter charge if you don't have any more counter charges. And then obviously we play 8 crits and 4 draws. So as I said, another reason why we don't play the new counter charging any more counter charges, basically because of the crits. Basically act skill, just move this crit into your soul if you have it on hand, and then just counter charge 1. So that's another way to counter charge so many times. So many ways to counter charge. And then we have 4 of the standard crit triggers. When your vanguard attacks, move this crit trigger to your soul, plus 5k to your vanguard, draw 1. Standard, you obviously need to play 4 of these, but I don't understand why it's pretty expensive. It's like $10 per trigger for some reason. So yeah, it's very standard. And last but not least, we have the 4 draw triggers. So in this deck, I play 4 heals, 4 draws, and 8 crits. Some might think that you should play stands, but I feel that you don't really need that stand power anymore. You rather have that crit, that pressure to your opponents, so that you can kill them off quickly. So the draw trigger skill is very standard. Move this into your soul, and plus 3k to any fighter's units. So it's very standard, and you ideally want to play at least 4. Alright, now after we have gone through the main deck, we will now go through what is in the strike zone and what have I taken out since my last Nubatama deck recipe review. So as you can see, my strike zone is very standard right now. So let's moving on with the G-Guards. The G-Guards first, we have 2 of the new stealth dragons, whatever that name is, super long name which I don't remember, but basically this is dependent on your opponent's hand size. So it says here, when this is placed on Guardian Circle, if your opponent has 3 or more hand, this unit plus 5k shield, so it's a 20k shield. But if your opponent has 6 or more hand, this unit plus an additional 10k shield, so basically it's a 30k shield if your opponent has 6 or more hand. So you must ensure that, you know, sometimes if you want to guard for a rear guard, you ideally want to take the opponent's vanguard, so that your opponent, you know, has that triple drive check, so that they can get their hand size back up to, you know, at least 6 or at least 3, so that they can get the extra 5k or 10k shield. So when the rear guard attacks and you don't want to take it, because obviously you have taken the vanguard, you no guard the vanguard or PG, and then you can use this G guard in order to get that 30k shield, which is a lot of shield. So every clan is getting like something like this, like a 30k shield base, if you fulfill the conditions, obviously. And then we still play 2 of the Dominate grade 1 back rows, so it's very standard. Really good counters against, you know, decks like Luard or Gear Cancer, you know, GC. I shouldn't call it Gear Cancer, but yeah, if you face against Chronovisor Heritage, it's really stupid. So yeah, pretty salty about that, but yeah, mind. Moving on, we have count +1, so +1. When this plays on Guardian Circle, you may choose one of your back row, only back row, and only grade 1s in your opponent's rearguard circle, and then dominate them, and he's treated as a guardian for that battle and move it to Guardian Circle. So it's basically just a 20k shield, but you get rid of that grade 1, which is basically no more booster for them. Last but not least, we play the not new, but the old FC G Guardian, which is really good. Obviously, GB1, choose a face down G Guardian and flip it face up. So your opponent has to drop a card from their hand. If they do not, this unit plus additional 20k shield. So it's a very good pressure. If you want to pressure your opponent to drop the card, you know, drop a card in order for this unit to not gain additional 20k shield. Moving on, we have the new reprinted, but not new reprinted, but I have the reprinted Tsukumarakan. This is a staple in every Dominates deck. If your opponent's hand size is just too big, just use this GB2 +2, and then if I'm not wrong, +2, yeah, +2, that's alright. I'm not too sure if I need to discard a card, I don't think so. But basically, +2, when this is placed on Guardian Circle, your opponent chooses up to 4 cards in his hand, 4 cards only in his hand, and then for that whole turn, he only has 4 cards to guard, and then the rest he has to bind it face down. So basically for that turn, let's just say your opponent has 15 hand size. It doesn't really matter, because once you strike into this unit, your opponent will only have 4 cards to guard for that whole turn, while the rest he has to bind it face down, and then obviously at the end of turn, he adds all the bind cards back to his hand. So this is a really good pressure unit. It is able to finish off your opponent when he is at, you know, 4 damage, or you can just use it to bait out G Guardians or, you know, Kanzens if you need. They are perfect guards for you to finish him off in the next strike. And then moving on with the staples for Mujin Lords, of course, the old ass Mujin Lord, +1 for each face up card in your G zone. You +4k to any fighter's rear guards, and then if you do choose any of the opponent's rear guards, stand and dominate them, and yeah, they each attack the opponent's vanguard 1 at a time. So this is still staple, is can be used as a finisher, but there are like other strikes to use as a finisher. This is only if you really run out of choices and you have to go into Mujin Lord, which is still very good. And then we have one GR, which is the Shiranui Bukuro, dominate opponent's vanguard. If you have really want to clear the opponent's field, if they have a full field, you know, full 5 rear guards field, it's okay. Just try to distribute to so +2, choose a card from your hand, discard it, dominate, stand and dominate all your opponent's vanguards, and it, you know, attacks all the rear guards, and your opponent can't guard for any of the rear guards because they don't have a vanguard at all. So yeah, basically this is basically a full free clear, basically clearing your opponent's field free of charge, just so +2 drop card, right? And in addition, you may twin drive also, so it basically gives you 4 drive checks for that turn, including your vanguard. Then we run one Sabreeze. I'm pretty sure I don't have to reason with you guys why I run the Sabreeze, because this deck is really GB reliant. As you can see, most of the skills are GB restricted, so you run that Sabreeze in case your opponent Gridlock too. And last but not least, we have the new 4 Shiranui Renes, the most OP card that costs actually $5 to $8 only, surprisingly. So yeah, skill, Count Blast 1. Your opponent is forced to put 2 cards from the hand down to the rearguard circle, and both of them plus 5k until the end of turn. And then, if I'm not wrong, and then their auto abilities cannot be used, obviously. And then they attack the opponent's vanguard one at a time. But that's not why this card is so strong. Is because of that GB3 skill. GB3 skill, if I'm not wrong, is all dominated units, continuous obviously, all dominated units get 10k and 1 crit. So basically, right, if you are not striking first, you may allow your opponent to strike. Sure, no problem. You just G-guard once, and then next turn you just strike into Shiranui Rene, and then when your opponent is forced to call down 2 cards, cause Count Plus 1 flip its own same name up, so you flip himself up, you already achieve GB3. So basically, right, when the opponent calls down 2 cards, it plus 5k already, and then it plus an additional 10k 1 crit, so basically plus 15k and 1 crit to both of their units. And then even if you have that stupid frog, this frog, as I said, in plus 6k to dominate the unit, is hitting for like at least a 20k guard for your opponent. And then your opponent is obviously forced to either take it with, but if he's at 4 damage, he'll die, obviously, because it's 2 crits. And then it's either that or he has to force his whole hand down to guard. And this is why I say why Dominate is in a good position right now, because of Bushiroad coming up with this OP G unit, in which everybody is like, so, oh my god, this unit is so strong, it's even better than Chronovisor Heritage because of the stupid GB3 skill, which is all dominated units 10k and 1 crit. And I'm here like, yes, I have to agree with you guys, it's such a good skill, and it's exactly what Nubatama needed, yeah, in order for it to jump the ranks from, tier 1.5, or not even tier 1.5, tier 2 plus, to jump back to at least tier 1 or tier 1.5. So I really have to thank Bushiroad for that. But at the same time, I'm a bit sad to see that this deck is rising in popularity, and more and more people are getting this deck. So I'm not really the only special one that actually really stick to this deck all the time. I've been with this deck for a very long time, ever since Dominate came out, because I just love the mechanic, and I have never, abandoned this deck or traded this deck away for any other deck, because I feel that one day this deck will get its potential, and I was right. So I'll do my best to try to max rarity this whole deck, because I have some stuff that I still have to get. I have to get 4 SPs Renes right here, in which I don't have one yet. I need to get my SPs Kanzens, which I don't have, and then any more, pretty much that's it, and one more SP Zanki, of course. So yeah, I'll be going to Japan between 19th March and all the way to 28th March, so that's about 9 days, I guess, just to go and see what decks there are there, and if possible, I'm gonna max rarity my Shiranui deck, and maybe even build a deck there, because Japan card prices are much cheaper. So yeah, thank you very much, guys, for listening to me rant and talk about my new Shiranui deck. I believe this deck has future potential in the competitive state, in the competitive season, with Bushiroad Springfest coming up soon in 23rd to 24th March for Singapore, because I live in Singapore. So I'm really hope that this deck can top the few the few championships and see how this deck fares, because I feel that this deck has the utmost potential to do very well against decks such as maybe Kagero or Gearcron, Genesis, just to waste their hand size, because is just really good. And I really got nothing else to say, guys. This deck is just a very consistent deck. You have draw power, you have wasting the opponent's hand size, you have dominate, you make your opponent waste even more hand size, which is amazing. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. I'll see you guys next time, where I post more videos on the full gameplay against other decks, using my Shiranui Dominate. So yeah, I hope you guys tune into that. So thank you very much for watching. This is VG ShiHai, and I am out. Peace.